Hello to everybody, and thank you very much for being here with us. I would like to welcome you all on this first episode of a series of upcoming webinars that will be offered to you by Sailing Around, covering the topic of what else? Sailing, and more specifically, sailing in Greece. We're going to give you tips, tricks, and share our secrets with you. In essence, what we're going to do is try to share our love and passion with you for the same thing, which is sailing and exploring, of course. Before anything else, let me just tell you a few words about me. I'm a professional skipper based mostly in Athens, Greece. I work as a skipper operating boats for the weekly charters. As I told you, based in Athens, but pretty much all over Greece. I do, of course, boat deliveries, and my work experience so far includes the aforementioned, and also I've spent some time in the maintenance sector, repairing and upgrading boats, which I do. I still do it occasionally, and on demand. When I'm not working professionally, I enjoy sailing for my own leisure and pleasure with friends, and I like participating into sailing races. As I told Ronan before, it's the racing period here in Greece is about to start, and we're all very excited about that. So today, today's episode number 1, as I told you, and this very self-explanatory title is Sailing Areas of Greece, Cyclades and Saronic. Before anything else, guys, I would like to set a few things straight. Even though some of you may have been here before, I want to talk a little bit about Greece in general. It may look a little bit small on the map, and it is a small country, but when it comes to sailing, it's not that small, especially when we're operating boats that do approximately 6 to 8 knots. Which means that in order to do realistic planning of the itinerary and our routes, we need to subdivide Greece into smaller sailing locations, sailing areas. 2 of which we're going to be talking about today, the Cyclades and Saronic, which happen to be, if not the most popular, 2 of the most popular, mainly because not only they are very beautiful places, but they are very close to Athens, which is where everything is happening. So today I'm going to share with you my favorite places, and I'm going to provide you with a few tips. I just prepared this slide to give you an overall idea of what I'm hoping to be the outcome of this webinar. So by the end of it, hopefully, you're going to have a solid grasp of the places like the islands or the mainland spots that both areas comprise. And when I say islands and mainland spots, I mean that, of course, we have the islands of the Cyclades, the islands of the Saronic Gulf, but in the Saronic, we have some fantastic, often overlooked mainland spots as well. I want you to have different anchorage options, where, as I write here, you can either enjoy your swimming or spend the whole day and night. Which means that apart from using these anchorages as swimming options, you can use them as alternatives to the often very busy Greek harbors, especially during summertime. I would like you to have a firm understanding of the local weather. Guys told me not to be too technical about some stuff, but some things are unavoidable. So we have to talk about weather just a little bit and have a good idea of what happens here. No matter how trustworthy your weather applications are. I hope that by the end of that webinar, you're going to have a clear understanding of your choices when designing your itinerary, which means to be realistic and efficient when designing your itinerary. The goal, of course, is to be able to make a good planning in order to get the most out of your sailing trip, as I write here, given the time, the duration of the trip, the weather, which always has the final say, and of course, the crew's preferences and desires. In essence, the goal of all these webinars will be to assist you in order to kind of, like design your dream holidays. So Let's pretend it's already summer. We're on a boat and we're just about to choose our next destination, right? The first area that we're going to talk are the famous Cyclades, a fantastic islandic complex in the central South Aegean, which is one of the most popular places to visit, not only sailing-wise, but generally speaking. Tourists love the Cyclades. Of course, they do because they have fantastic waters, amazing places, and when it comes to sailing, hidden paradises, hidden gems. Now, Cyclades, as I told you, is a subdivision, a sailing area, subdivision of the sailing areas that we have in Greece. But even Cyclades themselves are subdivided into smaller group of islands. Because as I told you before, in order to be able to create a realistic itinerary and make the most out of it, you have to actually get to know which islands are near enough to combine them in a single trip. Before I continue with the Cyclades, I would like to mention that in Athens we have three marinas, three basic marinas. Marina of Lavrion, which is located on the southeastern tip of Attica region, Athens region. We have the Marina of Alimos, which is placed in the so-called Athenian Riviera. And we have the Marina of Zea, which is closer to Piraeus port. All of them serve very well for our excursion and trips, both into Cyclades and into the Saronic. But as a rule of thumb, you know, when you get to visit the Cyclades, it's always better to start from Lavrion. So this is what I'm going to be assuming today, that we start our journey to the Cyclades from Lavrion Marina, which saves some time and some miles for us. So back to the subdivision of the Cyclades. Let's start with the first subdivision, which is the West Cyclades, comprising of the islands of Kea to the very north. Here you can see a fantastic picture taken depicting the entrance to the main port of Kea. Kythnos, another picture of the main port, Merichas. Seriphos, a fantastic place to visit. This is a picture taken from Hora. Keep that word. I'm going to say a few things about the word Hora in a few minutes. Next comes the island of Sifnos. I don't know if you can believe it, but this picture is taken from inside the port area. Look how crystal clear and fantastic blue waters are there. And of course, we have the islands of Kimolos and the world famous Milos, which was, if I'm not mistaken, voted to be the best island for 2021 visitors. Now, the next subdivision is the the Cycladic islands of the north and the central region. We have the island of Andros, which is supposed to be the birthplace of the most of the people of Greece that are into the shipping and boat industries. The island of Tinos, a fantastic, often overlooked place. The island of Syros, the capital of the Cycladic complex. And of course, the islands of Mykonos. I'm quite sure I don't have to say many things about Mykonos. It's one of the most popular Greek islands throughout the world. Syros, this is a fantastic photo from the port as well. Syros has these two hills. This is the capital of the island. On one hill, we say this is the Catholic hill and this is the Orthodox hill. The people over here who are supporting different divisions of the same religion found a fantastic and very convenient way to live peacefully with each other. Just took a hill for each other, and then the rest is history. We're going to go later into more detail about Syros. The last subdivision of Cyclades is a big one because it includes many islands, and it is actually the islands of the South Aegean, the South Cycladic complex, comprising of the island of Paros, the island of Naxos, which is not the capital because Syros is, but happens to be the biggest Cycladic island. We have then the more let's say, picturesque and isolated islands of Amorgos, Sikinos, Efolegandros. Many artists like to visit these places. That makes them a very nice choice for, like sailors who want just to take some time away from the very, very, very populated and very, very crowded places here in Greece. The island of Ios, the party island for young people, still a very, very beautiful one. And of course, the island of Santorini, which alongside Mykonos, I think these are the two most popular islands that we have here in Greece, Mykonos and Santorini. Now, I'm going to get into further details regarding some of these islands. Normally, we would need like 2 or 3 episodes for each island to be able to describe all the places and the fantastic locations that we can do. We only have 1 episode here for everything. So I'm just going to share with you my favorite places. Before doing that, I would just like to give you a few tips when it comes to itinerary planning. I'm not going to get that technical into that. I'm just going to give you a few suggestions that we professional skippers apply here when we design the itinerary for our guests. So one technique to approach the Cycladic complex or the subdivisions of the Cycladic complex is to skip an island and then on the way back to the marina, do the islands that you just skipped on your way down. So these numbers are actually representing the nights, okay? First night, second night, and so on. I assume, as I told you in the beginning, that we are starting from Lavrio, okay? The marina of Lavrio, which is located down here in the Attica region. So a nice way to approach that would be to start from Lavrio, do the first day in Kythnos, spend the first day in Kythnos, skipping the island of Kea. Then skip the island of Serifos and do Sifnos. Spend another 2 days in the Islandic complex between Kimolos and Milos. And on your way back, do Serifos that you skipped previously, Kea, and then last night back into the marina. That's a very, very, very handy approach when we design our itineraries here. Another way would be to create kind of a circular motion between the islands. So again, we're starting from Lavrion and we're focusing on the northern Cyclades. First night in Kea, second night in Andros, the third one in Tinos, fourth in Syros, Serifos would be the fifth one, the sixth one, Kythnos, and all the way back to Lavrion before we check out Saturday morning from our boat. And another circular kind of itinerary would be to I'm just now focusing on the south Cyclades, to start from Paros, spend the first night in Sifnos, second night in Folegandros, third in Ios, fourth night, or let's say the whole day and night in the small Cyclades, a fantastic area that I'm going to talk about later on, Naxos, Adiparos, and then back to Paros. It's high time I said what I'm going to say right now. When we plan our itinerary and we aim for the South Cyclades, it would be a good idea to charter a boat from either the islands of Paros and Naxos. This is going to save us a tremendous amount of time instead of, starting from Athens and going all the way down. And at this point, I should say this, consult your agent, okay? Ask all the questions you want to ask or you need to ask, okay? And of course, me as a partner of sailing around here in Greece, I'm going to be at your disposal throughout the booking period to assist you with your bookings, your reservations, and your itinerary planning, okay? This is what sailing around is known for, giving the best advice to you when you are about to visit an area and start your sailing experience, okay? Now, enough with the itineraries. Let's get into the islands. I would like to share with you my favorite places. And I'm gonna start with the area of the Western Cyclades over here. And the first island will be the island of Kea. Kea is to the very north of the West Cyclades. The main port of Kea is over here, Bukari, and it's an amazing place that you can spend your time enjoying the local foods and, of course, paying a visit to the central village of Kea, which is located near the port. When it comes to anchorages, what I personally like most is on the north side, dropping my anchor into this fantastic gulf here, which name is Odzias, very spacious and very well protected, especially from the southern winds. But when it comes to the south part of Kea, I love this place. I really love this place. It's called Carthea. You can combine your swimming stop and visit to this south part of Kea by paying a visit to this ancient site that resembles the, the civilization that used to be here and on the island thousands of years ago. So drop an anchor, drop your dinghy down, explore the place, enjoy the fantastic waters, and then go inside Kea Port to find a safe berthing place and enjoy a ride at this island. Moving next to the islands of Kithnos and Seriphos. Kithnos and Kea, I have to say that are the best, or let's say the most favorite islands of the Athenians because they are very, very close to Athens. Kithnos, where should I begin with Kithnos? Let's start with this amazing place, Kolona, which actually in Greek, in English stands for column, because this column of thin land separates the sea into virtually two big lakes. It's a place that you have to see with your own eyes. Drop an anchor here, enjoy these fantastic turquoise waters, but know this, that this place can be very, very, very busy and crowded and packed with boats, especially during July and August. So my advice would be to spend like 30 minutes swimming here and then try your luck and enter this gulf, which actually is, if you see on the map, this gulf over here, a little bit more inside the gulf, and enjoy the Apokrousi Bay, which is a fantastic place to just have a more relaxed kind of anchorage. And if you happen to arrive here, please do me a favor for just another time. Drop your dinghy down and go to this tavern over here. Ask for the fish of the day. No matter what kind of fish they have, it's going to be one of the best fishes you will ever had. Now, Kithnos main port is Merihas, and it's a very, very, very handy one, very practical one, and the boatmaster there is fantastic. But on the other side of Kithnos, maybe in case you're coming from the west, we have another fantastic place as well. It's called Lutra, can serve as an alternative to the main port of Kithnos. And the funny thing about it is that there are fantastic thermal springs over here. So you can just moor your boat and go to the thermal springs and forget about all the problems with your joints and bones and everything. Please spend one whole day in Kithnos and appreciate its beauty. This is a fantastic island. Now, moving on to Seriphos, more to the south. What can I say about Seriphos? I think that the pictures are talking for themselves. I just picked two bays. One in the south called Ghanema. I mean, you can see the waters over here. And the other one on the east side of the island called Psili Amos. Seriphos is full of these kinds and these types of anchorages and bays. And not only that, it has a fantastic port, which is called Livadion, and a fantastic local village. So if there is an island to skip, please, this island cannot be Seriphos. You should spend a day here exploring the fantastic waters and, of course, a very, very, very beautiful walk to Livadion and the Hora of Seriphos. I told you something about the word Hora. All the Cycladic islands have kind of a central village, and the generic name of it is Hora. Hora in Greek means the country. I don't know why they use this kind of word, but in every Cycladic island, you have to spend some time into visiting the Hora, the central village. The food and at most times the view from this place is amazing. Most Horas are built up to the mountains. Sifnos, next island. Sifnos is the family-friendly island. Why? Because it is full of nice anchorages, huge bays, very well protected from almost all kinds of winds and weather. And not only that, they are very, very, very full of amazing and like a plethora of choices when it comes to food. Sifnos is like the gastronomic capital of Greece. So definitely, when you come to Sifnos, you should taste all the local delicacies, especially the slow-cooked chickpeas. From Sifnos, I just picked two places. Vathi Bay, which is located here in the west-south part of the island. You can see how beautiful the colors of the water are. And on the other side of Kithnos, Platis Yalos. Both of them can serve as a fantastic alternative to the main port, which is Kamares over here. Both of them have enough space for many boats. They are so well protected that you can just be, like careless and, without worrying about your anchor. And especially if you visit Greece with children, you don't have to worry about your kids or everything because the waters there tend to be very, very, very calm. And of course, as I told you before, you have a plethora, a vast, let's say, a plethora of choices when it comes to food. Sifnos, no matter what time of the year you're going to be here, will serve you the best. I mean, the best, and always has enough space for all the boats. Moving more to the south. Oh my God, I spent like three seasons here in this area, the area of Kimolos, Milos, and Poliegos. I need 3 episodes for each island. But for now, let's say a few words about this area.
Do you know how lucky you are?
I think I know how lucky I am when it comes to this area, Ronan. So this is an area that, I mean, for me, has the coolest and the most beautiful colors throughout the Aegean archipelagos. On your way from Sifnos, which is not visible, it's behind this picture over here. The first island to do is Kimolos. Kimolos is a very, very tiny, very, very small island, but it's well known for for the hospitality of their people over there. So my advice would be, instead of getting into Kimolos small port, just go a few miles to the north. I mean, not even a few miles. I mean, below a mile or something, to this fantastic area, which is called Rupa Beach or the Elephant Bay. Takes its name after this elephant kind of rock over here. You drop an anchor there, you reach the shore, and you walk all the way up to the Hora, to the central village of Kimolos. Everybody who has come to Kimolos comes back again and again all the time. On the other side, on the east side of Kimolos, is another fantastic little hidden gem, which is called Poliegos. Poliegos is a funny name in Greek because Poliegos translates literally into many goats. Poliegos, for me, has the bluest waters in the Aegean, and this is the Bay of Galasia, which means blue, actually, located on the south west part of this tiny uninhabited island. Come here, guys, drop your anchor, and this is the bluest you will ever get. I was saying, Ronan, that I had a guest. I remember one day, like 3 or 4 years ago, when we arrived there, she couldn't believe her eyes. She was like, "Oh my God, this is literally blue. This is blue." I was like, "Of course, when we say blue, we mean this kind of blue. What were you expecting?" And he was like, she was like, "No, no, Captain, you have no idea. I'm coming from New York." Anyway, so spend some time here in Galatia Poliegos, but not too much time because this is a very, very crowded place due to the fact that many boats that do daily cruises here in Milos visit Poliegos every day. So by the time it starts to get packed, you just hoist your anchor and go to the north side of Poliegos and enjoy your lands in Myrsini, a fantastic bay with calm waters protected from almost all kinds and all the wind directions. And this is the perfect place to just relax for another couple of hours before heading all the down to Milos. Now, Milos is a story of its own. I had a very difficult, very hard time picking up my favorite places in Milos. So I will stick to the two most popular ones, which are Sarakiniko, north side, and of course, Kleftiko on the south side. Both of them has this white stone that depicts the, excuse me, this white soft stone that not depicts, it resembles the volcanic history of the island. Sarakinik on the north side with amazing waters, pretty deep water. So put as much chain as you can down there and then start exploring the caves of Sarakiniko. Breathtaking. It's often referred to as the moon beach. Looks like the moon sometimes. Kleftiko, which means the place of clefters, the place of thieves. This used to be the hideout of pirates for many years. Another amazing place with amazing caves to explore. Don't hesitate to get your dinghy down once again, and explore all the little caves that are hidden inside this fantastic place. I mean, for me, Kleftiko is one of the best places to spend the whole day and night over there and find yourself just you, the GNC, and the fantastic and very beautiful summer night sky. Yerakas is my third choice from Milos. It's located here in the southeast part of the island. This is an artificial bay. It was actually created after some excavating works started taking place over here and created these fantastic sandfalls. Of course, the sea was already there, but now it creates this mesmerizing place, a huge bay. You drop your anchor over there and you spend the whole day before getting into Milos main port, which is over here inside the Gulf of Milos. The name of the port is Adamadas, which means diamond. If you ask me, Milos, Kimolos, and Poliegos, you should spend 3 days only at this place. But for now, these are fantastic choices that you can actually do before heading all the way up to return to whatever base you chartered your boat from. Now, a little bit about the central Cyclades, the Syros. Two places from here, Phoenikas on the east side, which can serve as a secondary port. Fantastic bay with a nice marina over here, can serve as a secondary port instead of going to the central marina of Syros, which is located on the east side of the island. But please, if you drop your anchor over here, take a transfer and visit these two fantastic cliffs over there on the other side of the island, because Syros is a very cosmopolitan island that you don't have to miss it. On the south part, this is my bay of preference, Achladi. Fantastic waters, protected from the northern winds, an amazing place to spend, like a couple of hours for swimming before just resting for the night on either Phoenikas or the main port. Now, instead of talking about the cosmopolitan and very crowded Mykonos, I decided to tell a few words about this small group of islands, which is located on the east side of Mykonos, and it's called Rhenia. I often get asked about what is my best place in the Aegean, and I have to admit I'm responding with two islands, Poliegos that I just showed you, and Rhenia. Deserted islands, fantastic places, both of them. And Riña has this fantastic, significant turquoise and blue color, space for everybody. That's my second best choice of spending a whole night instead of getting into a port. So if you want to approach this area, okay, skip Mykonos for now, do Riña. It's going to be an unforgettable experience. And yes, if there is one night that you don't want to go into a port, let that night be spent in Riña. Moving to the south, Cyclades, Paros and Naxos that can serve as basis for chartering your boat. Both of them fantastic places as well. Excuse me one more time. Both of them fantastic places. When I find myself down here, what I usually like doing is instead of spending my days in Paros, go to the Spotiko, which is a place in Adiparos, the little island near Paros. The waters speak from themselves. In Naxos, I mean, Naxos is so huge, you should definitely spend a whole day around the island. But if you have just 7 days of sailing, uh, make a stop here on the south side in Panormos, a fantastic bay with fantastic waters and very close to the area of the small Cyclades. Small Cyclades include the islands of Keros, Skinusa, Donusa, Iraklia, and Koufonisia. Where to start from? I just wanted to share with you my favorite place on the small Cyclades, which is the Thetis on the south Koufonisi. A beautiful, beautiful anchorage that will protect you from the winds. This can get a very, very, very windy area over here. And of course, enjoy your time over there before returning either to Paros or Naxos. And just to close with the Cycladic area, Nissos Ios can offer you this amazing anchorage, which is called Santorineico. And it is a fantastic place that you can use as a whole day and whole night resting place before getting all the way up to Paros. Sikinos and Folegandros, as I told you in the beginning, can serve as the most isolated type of choices if you don't want to, like be into very, very cosmopolitan kind of places and just relax and have some quality time, which is, if you ask me, that's the whole point of chartering a boat, getting away from the ports. To conclude, Cyclades, so many places. You just heard me talking. I was just trying to include everything into a few minutes. Keep in mind a few things about Cyclades. The distances here are between the islands are a bit far away. We're talking about 30 nautical miles in average, which means that you have to start early. Ports are getting pretty busy throughout the summer season. So be aware of that before entering the port. And of course, I want to talk to you about the weather. During summertime here in Greece, we have strong northern winds, which makes sailing fun, but maneuvering and boat handling a little bit tricky. Which means that beware of the passages between islands, because the closer you get to the island, the more wind it gets. And apart from what you're looking at your weather prediction applications, you have to know that there are many local phenomena over here that cannot be depicted into or shown into the applications. So, especially in windy days, just take your time, plan your journey. I'm not going to get more technical into that, but I want you to know that there are a lot of things happening here throughout the summer season that people is not aware of. Saronic. The Saronic is the choice for the people who want protection from the wind sometimes. Used to be a very and often very overlooked area. For me, it's one of the best areas that you can visit when you're in Greece and sail and discover amazing places. Saronic includes the islands of Aegina, the closest islands to Athens, the island of Poros, a fantastic little island full of green near the Peloponnese Peninsula. We have also the Agistri Island, another green gem with amazing turquoise waters. The island of Hydra, of course, one of the most artistic islands here in Greece. The island of Spetses, with a huge history. And of course, the city of Nafplion, which is located here. It's a mainland spot, as I told you in the beginning, a very historic city. Actually, this used to be the first capital of Greece. As I told you, the Saronic tends to be often overlooked, or it is most of the times combined with the first timers or the non-experienced sailors. Yes, it tends to be less windy and more protected, more family friendly, but still sometimes it can be very challenging, and still it is very, very beautiful. So I'm gonna share a few of my favorite places. Before that, again, I'm going to just give you an example of how we design an itinerary in the Saronic. We usually start from Alimos Marina, okay, or Marina of Zea, which is closer to the Saronic Gulf. Spending the first day in Agistri Island, skipping the island of Poros and then to Hydra. Then we go to Spetses. This is another mainland spot that I'm going to talk later about. It is called Hermione, fourth night in Hermione. On our way back, we do Poros that we skipped initially on our first day, and then Aegina, which is the pistachio island that we skipped in the first day. So we use the same kind of skip an island or place technique, okay? Another example of an itinerary that includes the Nafplion, which is a bit far away, for those who want to do this extra mile, would be to start from Alimos, go all the way down to Poros, then do Spetses, longer distances here covered, all the way to Nafplion, and on our way back, we do Porto Heli, another mainland attraction, a fantastic one, Hydra, Aegina, and back to Alimos Marina for our last night, which is the same thing. We skip a place that we do on our way back. So let's talk places here. This is a fantastic place, which is called Aponisos in Agistri Island. This is like the southernmost part of the island. And this fantastic bay can serve as a fantastic anchorage stop to spend the whole night. You drop your anchor here in onto these very, very, very deep waters, go all the way to the rocks, and then put your lines on the rocks, okay? Spend the whole night there. It's like, I cannot actually describe to you how beautiful it is. It's like you create your own swimming pool and you enjoy over there. The food in Agistri is also fantastic. On the other side, there is so much snorkeling to do because this seabed is full of fantastic beauties. On the other side of the small island, there is also a shipwreck that scuba divers are visiting all the time. So Aponisos Agistri, keep the place. In Aegina, I picked two places to show you. On the south of Aegina, we have this fantastic bay, which is called Kipos, very well protected and very big, with fantastic waters. And on the other side, I chose to show you a little island which is on the east side of Aegina, and it's called Moni. It's full of fantastic animals. Kids love this place. Sorry. And this is a very, very, very beautiful to spend the whole day before visiting the island of Aegina. Kids are going to love it. Trust me. Poros. Poros is well known for its fantastic food. On the west side of Poros, we have nice places. What I'm showing you here is called Vidi. It's located across Poros on the other side. And actually, it's part of the mainland of the Peloponnese. Three beautiful bays to choose from. You drop your anchor, you just spend the whole day over there, and then all the way to Poros to taste its fantastic food. And some say that Poros has the best ice cream in Greece. Okay, it has good ice cream. Now, let's move to Hydra. Hydra, as I told you before, is an island that most artists love. It's very scenic and very picturesque. You have to spend a night in Hydra walking and roaming around the fantastic city. What I'm showing you right now is not the main port of Hydra, which, if you ask me, tends to be very crowded throughout the summer season. So instead of doing that, you can just leave the central port, which is over here, do another 15-minute ride and enter the Mandraki Gulf over here. You drop your anchor, as I told you, here in Aponesos, and you stern to the shore with your shorelines, and then you can either walk all the way to the main city of Hydra. You have to do it. It's a fantastic walking distance to the main city. Or for those that just don't have, let's say, enough time or are tired, you can just call a water taxi, which will take you to the main city of Hydra. In Hydra, I mean, whoever is into pictures and the painting or whatever can find the perfect scene to just enjoy his time over there. Another place that is across Hydra, more to the west, is Dokos. Now, Dokos, when it comes to Saronic, is my personal choice of, again, spending a night under the stars and the summer sky. Dokos is a small island, this one over here, which is a huge bay, a protected one with amazing waters. Another fantastic choice, especially for those who do sailing with kids and family. A whole day that can be actually be spent with water sports, fishing, relaxing, cooking, or whatever, you name it. There is a small church over here that you can just walk to and like appreciate the whole view around the island. The coast, for me, if you get all the way down to this area, is a must do. Keep the name Dokos and you will never forget about it. Moving more down to the Spetses Island. Spetses is another very popular island, often very crowded, but there is a fantastic bay over here in the north part of the island, which is called Zogeria. Again, this is a place that everyone loves, among other facts, because there is a fantastic tavern over there. So when you come to Spetses, before entering some of one of its busy ports, it has two ports, the old port and the new port. You drop an anchor to Zogeria, enjoy your swimming. Why not have some lunch into this fantastic local tavern? And of course, please spend some time in the main city. You can do the same thing with Hydra over here. You just call a water taxi and you don't worry about marinas and everything. Spetses is very cosmopolitan and is the favorite island of the ladies, especially the ladies, because it has a vast a plethora of choices when it comes to the market, which is full of clothes and all the well-known brands.
Also, very nice sushi I ate there.
Sorry?
Very nice sushi I ate there in Spetses.
Sushi.
Yes.
Traditional Greek sushi. Talking about traditional things in Spetses, they have some traditional sweets over there, not sushi. I wasn't aware of that, but I will note this down for my next visit. Traditional sweets that you definitely have to taste them. Now, on our way from Spetses to Nafplion, there are two fantastic places that most people don't know. So this is kind of a secret, sharing some secrets of the job. The first one is over here above Porto Heli, and this is Korakas, a small island which is named Korakas, which means the crow. I don't know why. Creating this amazing gulf between this tiny piece of island and the mainland, with very beautiful waters and very well protected. An amazing choice for a swim stop. And all the way to the north, just a few nautical miles before Nafplion, another little rocky island, which is Romvi. This is an island and a rocky one, which actually, I'm sorry, create this amazing gulf again. Too much space for too many boats, but the good thing is that not too many boats arrive over here. So you can enjoy your swimming before visiting the historic Nafplion city. Trust me, if you do this extra mile, and except for doing the standard Aegina, Gistri, Hydra, and Spetses Island, you should definitely enter the Argolic Gulf over here, do these places before spending your night in Nafplion, which is an amazing city with many sites to visit. Now, last but not least, another mainland spot over here, which is across the Kos, is called Hermione, a beautiful peninsula separating the sea again into two big areas. This is the North Port and the South Port. You know, Hermione used to be very overlooked as well as a place. For me, it's a fantastic place because it's a picturesque little nice fisherman village that has nothing so, like big time or exaggerating thing to offer, but still has two amazing marinas on the north and south side of it, and many taverns, many choices to eat. And the nice thing about it is that it has this fantastic little green forest kind of peninsula that everybody enjoys walking around. And of course, it's a fantastic choice to moor your boat, especially when you come from either Hydra or Dokos. Many people choose Hermione instead of going straight to Hydra because there is also a connection with either water taxis or little boats that can transfer you from Hermione to the island of Hydra. As a conclusion for the Saronic, my fellow captains, fellow travelers, Saronic, as I told you in the beginning, used to be cleansed mainly with the first timers or the less experienced sailors or the ones seeking calmer waters. But it can get windy as well over here, and there are some places that are really very challenging. Apart from that, what I'm trying to say is that Saronic is a fantastic choice for those who seek a nice combination between places that are not that deserted as in or isolated, let's say, like in Cyclades, but still have some kind of calmness and like peace of mind, and at the same time many choices to do the more cosmopolitan kind of holidays. What is beautiful about Saronic is that can offer places to enjoy sailing and at the same time enjoy visiting and like combining it with all kinds of vacations. It's a very family friendly area. It can get busy as well, like the Cyclades. So, despite the fact that distances are not that long as in Cyclades, are smaller over here, my advice would be the same. Start early, okay? Ports in general and marinas in general in Greece can be very busy throughout the summertime. I had just 45 or 50 minutes to share with you all the things I love doing, all the things I love about my job. That was all about it. I hope I gave you enough information, but believe me, this is just to start to start cooking things, to start you get going. And there is plenty of other places and a plethora of other places that you can explore here in Greece. I forgot to tell you one thing, though. I forgot to tell you one thing. There are fantastic and very useful information that you can find in the sailing around website, and more specifically, when you visit our front page, sailingaround.com, you just scroll down a little bit, and there is a dedicated area for the skippers. It's called the Skippers Library, providing you with a vast amount of information regarding itineraries, regarding tips and tricks that you should know, things like equipment that you can get with you, points of interest, and all this sort of stuff. So don't hesitate to visit the Sailing Around site. It's full of information that can prove very, 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 very useful and very vital at the same time. Uh, Thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. We will be waiting for you in Sailing Around and in Greece as well.
Thank you, Yannis Christopoulos. Thank you very much.
Παρακαλώ.
It was amazing. We have several questions and things that.
Ronen, you're on mute.
Yes, Ronan, you're on mute.
Guys, I will say in the meantime, if anyone else has some questions, feel free to write now on the chat. We're here to answer.
Yeah, so we have several questions. Let's start with. Okay, George told us a couple of facts on Kitnos and
Slaboulia,
stuff.
yes, George, yes, of course.
Do you see it? Yeah.
Yes.
And Rostislav asked, how do you deal with the Maltemi during the summer? Do you have any recommendations?
Of course I have. Okay, so to the most important information that one has to understand about Meltemi is that it's not a typical northern wind, which means that it blows mainly throughout daytime. By the time that night approaches and hits, okay, and the temperature goes lower, these winds tend to get calmer. So what we do most of the times, in order to not to expose our guests to the heavy Meltemi winds, is to wait for the night to come, and then we do, which is not very typical, of course, right? We do a night passage, okay? Apart from that, the only thing that you can do is try to always have, of course, your the wind on your back, and hope that on your way back to the Athenian marinas, the winds will have got calmer.
Okay.
And another thing, pre-plan your actions. Meltemi tends to create very, very, very strong gusts, especially inside marinas and anchorages. So pre-plan your actions and your maneuvering. We see every season many things happening because you know, like, visitors don't know how to handle these gusty winds sometimes.
That's the reason that when we are talking on the Cyclades, you have to be experienced in order to sail in July and August in the Cyclades.
Yes.
I think this is the most important advice.
Yes, yeah. As I said when I was talking about the Saronic tends to be related to the newcomers, the first timers, and you know, all this sort of stuff. So yes, it takes a little bit more experience to get to the Cyclades, especially in the Meltemi days. Or there's always a choice of chartering not only a boat but a captain as well.
Webinr asked about October. They are going to sail for 2 weeks, starting at Athens. I think in October the Maltemi is calmer, right?
The Meltemi is gone. The winter northern winds have not made their appearance yet. Are not yes, have they? We usually have mild winds. You never know with the weather. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm just generalizing. But the problem is rain. That it's typically the beginning of the rain season, which is still not something that should disencourage people to come. For me, October is one of the best periods to visit Greece because it's less crowded and you can enjoy even the most popular places
And
more
the sea
peacefully.
temperature. And the sea
Sorry?
temperature is nice. The sea temperature.
The sea temperature is still good. People think that
Yeah.
the sea temperature is better during summertime, but as the geologists have taught us, the sea temperature holds the temperature of the Earth like 2 months ago. So the warmer waters you will ever get are between August and October.
Yeah. Yaniv asks about if you have a tip about marinas, dealing with marinas. I think you talked about the most important thing that come early, right? Start early.
Start early and get to know the harbor masters. We're going to do an episode about giving tips and tricks regarding the Greek marinas and, of course, the way that you have to approach this kind of matter. Generally speaking, start early. Things have gotten a bit more difficult throughout the last couple of years. Boats, the boats are much more than they used to be in the past time. So the demand for a berthing place is huger, I can say. So start early and be patient. And as I told you during my presentation, there's always some other alternatives that you can use, like secondary ports, or why not? Don't hesitate to spend some days, some nights actually, on the anchor, which is
Anchor is the best.
Anchor is the best, as long as you have enough supplies. Okay, you don't need too many things.
Yes,
You don't need too many things, right? Sorry, Yorgo said something about Maganari over here, and he's totally right. Maganari, but sometimes we see that on the navigational applications named as Santorineko. He's so right. Thanks for the correction, George.
Okay, thank you very much, Yannis. We will have our next webinar on the Ionian, I think, right?
Yes, Ionian is going to be the next
The beautiful Ionian
topic, of course, and another story, which needs another 3 episodes, but we're going to be trying to include everything into one. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all for being with us.